Hey, I'm Tessa, and my brother Theo always wants to feel special and important. I guess that's why he suddenly became a vegan, even though he had never cared about animal rights before. At first, I tried to ignore him, but he kept talking about how meat was murder, and I deserved to burn in hell just because I ate a hamburger. Obviously, I told him to f off. I mean, it's just a burger, right? But then he said, "You don't understand how much those animals suffer. I bet my next birthday and Christmas present that if you lived like an industrial pig for just 1 week, you would become a vegetarian afterwards and never eat meat again." Well, it was summer vacation and I had nothing better to do, so I agreed to his stupid bet. 2 days later, he had built a cage for me in our barn. It was so tiny, and when I went inside, I could only stand straight or lie down, but there was no space to move or walk around. And then my brother threw a load of mud on me to make things more realistic. It was disgusting, but I quickly got used to it. Much worse was the boredom. I mean, I had no phone and no one to talk to. After 4 long hours, I called my brother Theo because I needed to go to the toilet. But he said that I wasn't allowed to do that because pigs like me live and sleep in their own feces. I told him to fuck off again, but in the end, we came to a compromise. I could use the bathroom twice a day if Theo could dump pig shit from our neighbor's farm on me. Oh man, I was so naive. Theo didn't just get pig shit, he also mixed it with water so it went everywhere on my body. It was so gross. But I couldn't complain because it was part of the deal. And industrial pigs really do live in their own feces. Their living conditions are awful. To make things worse, on the 3rd day, I got a cold. I mean, no wonder. The only reason industrial pigs don't get sick is because they're pumped full of antibiotics and medicine. At some point, our dog, Popo, sneaked into the barn, and when he saw me, he started barking because he was so worried about me. In that moment, I realized that if someone put their dog in a cage and left them in their own filth, that they would go to prison for animal abuse. And there is no reason to treat a dog better than a pig. I mean, did you know that pigs are more intelligent than dogs? When my brother Theo came into the barn, he chased Popo away saying, "Pigs don't have friends." But luckily, Popo got my parents and led them to the barn where they found me in the cage covered in pig feces, suffering from a cold. My parents immediately stopped the so-called "my sister is a pig" experiment and sent me to take a shower and get some rest. After this experience, I know firsthand how bad the living conditions of industrial animals are. Many industrial animals are force-fed until they collapse under their own weight, and baby pigs are separated from their mothers at a young age, even though pigs are very social animals just like us humans. Imagine taking a toddler away from its mother. You wouldn't, right? You know how much pain it would cause? And it's the same for pigs. My brother Theo was wrong about one thing though. Despite my experience, I didn't become a vegetarian or vegan. Instead, I decided to only eat free-range meat from animals which live outdoors under humane conditions. Unfortunately, that kind of meat is very expensive, and my family can't afford it very often. I strongly believe that someday we will look back on factory farming of animals the way we look back on human slavery. There really is no difference. We're exploiting living creatures for our own convenience. And I know some people will argue that eating meat is natural, but so is murder. Humans have been killing each other for tens of thousands of years, but we still made it illegal, and for good reasons. So even if, like me, you don't want to go completely vegetarian, you can at least reduce the amount of meat you are eating or only eat meat by free-range animals. Anyways, thank you for listening to my story and please subscribe to this channel.